Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Brandon.
Hello.
And we're talking about games and things.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's what we're doing. Games and things. What's on the agenda today? More Dead Space. That's a thing. Brandon's got some new things
Yeah.
too. We got Dead Cells Castlevania DLC. Oh, I didn't realize it came out. I got ready.
It did. It came out yesterday.
State of Decay 2 and Raft. So, those things we're going to talk about, and a few news things.
Yeah.
Anyways, ready to get into it? Anyways, you got new stuff, so you have the bat to go first.
Yeah. So I have the DLC for Dead Cells, which is Castlevania.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. They got a nice remix of the Castlevania music in it that you can select and have as the music that plays in the game now instead. It sounds awesome. It also has like many different characters from many different Castlevania games that you can interact with, and then you can get them as costumes that you can dress your character up as. So that's really cool. They've always done like the costume thing, but they mostly don't with like indie games. So like Shovel Knight, like Hollow Knight, those sort of things. Hotline Miami, games like those, they had like the costumes for those characters and whatnot, but they have it for each one of the Castlevania characters, and there's a lot of different ones in here. I think there's probably like 10, maybe 15. I'd have to check, but like even so, it's a $10 DLC. It adds an entirely new stage, which the new stage area is Dracula's castle, which you fight through. It's awesome. I've been having a lot of fun. I have not completed it yet. The furthest I've gotten is to Death himself, which I had to fight, and I have not been able to beat Death yet. But I mean, it's great. It's a great DLC. I really don't have a lot to say about it, other than like this is probably one of my favorite DLCs so far for Dead Cells, and I really haven't played a ton of Dead Cells. But, like, the other DLCs didn't feel that substantial. Like, they felt like new areas, right? But this feels like way more than just a new area, essentially. There's a lot more to it here, because you've got the music, you've got the costumes, you've got the new area, you've got the new weapons, and I mean, you have a lot of new weapons, and they're, like, all from the Castlevania games. So, I'm gonna look this up real quick. Okay, yeah. So, 12 new tracks. So this adds 14 iconic weapons from Castlevania throughout the entirety of Castlevania as a game series. You get secret rooms, flame-lit corridors, gloomy tombs. You can break walls, get floor chicken.
Okay.
So you can actually have that as an option. So apparently there is a storyline where Richter Belmont and Alucard are aiding you in vanquishing Dracula. And you're trying to help them out and everything. So you like navigate the maze to get to Dracula's castle, and that's the new like DLC. You're navigating through a maze to find his castle, essentially, and defeat him. And there are 3 new boss fights, 20 outfits from Castlevania, including Alucard, Richter, Simon, Maria, Trevor, Sophia, and Dracula himself. Like that's a decent chunk of stuff for like $10. And I love it. It's great. I've been having a lot of fun playing it. I just unlocked the sword that's also a whip. I can't remember what the fuck it's called, but that. So
sword that's a whip.
Yeah. Like it breaks apart. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, yeah. Visually, I do. I don't know what it's called.
Do you like Castlevania or know enough about Castlevania or anything like that?
I've played a few of them.
Oh, okay.
They're the recent ones, I guess. Yeah.
Wait, so you've played recent ones, but not like old Castlevania from like NES?
No, I'm saying I've played old ones, not recent ones.
Oh, well, I mean, this is based off old ones. This is not based off recent ones. This is like, I think as far as this goes, is probably like the DS Castlevania games.
Okay.
So, yeah. Good game. I'm really enjoying this so far. Lots of fun. I always said Dead Cells is one of the better roguelikes that are made this way, and it is. And this just made it better. So that's really just all there is to it.
Mm-hmm.
Good game, lots of fun. That's pretty much it. I don't really have a lot to say about State of Decay 2. We played during a stream, and I haven't played this game in a long time, but it's been fun going back to it. I've been playing it online with Katie. They've made a lot of improvements to it. I mean, it's been like 5 or 6 years, so they better have made improvements to it. And then We were having fun just going and finding new bases to capture and that sort of thing. Going and getting materials, searching around. It's good. It's also good. Again, super very little to say about State of Decay 2 other than like it has been enjoyable to go back to this, and I think it's a very good game that gets slept on quite a bit actually.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raft, which is a game that recently came out of early access, is a game where you start out on a raft, but you can like build up your raft by getting debris that's out in the ocean. And like when you get the debris that's out in the ocean while it's like floating by you and that sort of thing, you're then able to like craft weapons and craft all these other things to like fend off sharks and wildlife, and also like catch fish. So you're essentially floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean, attempting to survive the entire game. And you're able to, from like other shipwrecks and stuff, you're able to take pieces as you like float by them and add them to your raft to kind of survive longer. And it's a really interesting take on a survival game because having to be constantly moving is very neat as opposed to, you know, being in one place for a very long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like the idea of the game, and I think it's a lot of fun. And I
It's
I
an
think
interesting
there's
idea. I like the concept.
I know there's ways to like create an anchor eventually and like get to like islands and stuff like that and get materials off of those. I have not done that portion of it yet, so I don't really know a lot about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the gameplay itself is very different and interesting. So it's enjoyable. It's been good. It's been really hard kind of last week to play games without a graphics card. So so there is that.
Sure.
So I've been playing games that aren't really that tough to run, or that I can just run on my Steam Deck, essentially. Which, I mean, obviously I could run like higher end games if I wanted to, but it's like, I don't really want to. I'd rather wait and play those on the actual graphics card. So I've been playing like smaller games and stuff lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
reasonable.
Yep. So that's me. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, I've been in like Dead Space fever this last week, so I finished up the Dead Space remastered. So I think it finishes up really well. I still stand by what I said last week. I think it's a great looking game, but I don't think the gameplay strays too far away from the original. So I think it's just an enjoyable experience. I think
Okay.
it all wraps up well, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed everything that was there. I was surprised. There was a couple story beats near the end that I forgot about, but all in all, excellent game. And I think at least there was a couple things I've noticed that they had in there that seemed to allude to more of the already known lore.
Okay.
So, in like the other titles, so I thought that was interesting that that stuff was all there too. And so then, um, great game, like very excellent. That final boss still kind of sucks, but it
Hmm.
seems for my memory it's better than what the original one was. But no, it still works well. It looks really great. Uh, but anyway, so as soon as I finished, I'm like, I need more Dead Space. So I booted up Dead Space Extraction and played through that. That's like what, a 3-4 hour game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the shooter, the on rail shooter game. Which
Uh-huh.
honestly, I mean, Dead Space is one of my favorite series. I think Extraction's probably one of my favorite titles in the series. I wouldn't go as far to say like my favorite, but I think it's an excellent title on its own because I think it adds like a lot of narrative and I think it's a very creative take on this like franchise because it
Mm-hmm.
adds quite a bit of story. Like it's a very narrative driven on rail shooter
Okay.
that I mean you've played it before, right?
I've actually never played that one.
You've never played Extraction?
No.
Why?
I think I've mentioned this to you multiple times.
You might have. I know this is not the first time we've talked about it,
I
but
said
I
I've
don't
seen
remember.
it. I don't think I've played this one.
I love it. It's probably the best on rail shooter. If I'm gonna give it any award, it's best on rail shooter I've ever played.
That's pretty high. Like that's I don't know about that, Chief.
Oh, I think so. I think so.
I
I
don't
think
know,
so.
man. I don't know, man.
Uh,
I
yeah,
grew up on on-rail shooters, man. I don't know about that, Chief.
it does a great job. It has a great narrative that goes through it. I think in it uses motion controls. I think very cleverly.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and the Wii and the PlayStation 3 use them in similar ways.
Hmm.
Um, but I think like they did a great job of like trying to utilize every feature in the Wii available. Like they made it so when you pick up the audio logs, you hear them through like the Wii remote. You know, they use like the like alternate um firing styles by like twisting the remotes in certain ways. I don't know. They did just so like dismembered, but dismemberment's still there. You still got kinesis and stasis still there. It's excellent. And this story basically it tells the story of what happens on the colony after they discover the marker, up through um, like when Isaac arrives at the Ishimura. So it really fills in a lot of gaps there, and it adds some interesting lore to the whole thing that does get expanded on a little bit through Dead Space 2, especially because the DLC is a
Hmm.
direct sequel to Dead Space Extraction. So I really enjoyed it. If you want to play a great on-rail shooter, listeners, I do recommend it. It's on the Wii and it is available on the PlayStation 3 if you have like Dead Space. It's like on the same disc, so you don't even do anything special. But I think it requires PlayStation Move.
Okay.
So, um, so yeah, no, excellent. It's like a 4 hour game. It's like 10 chapters. Like it was just a nice, easy, like sit down, like beginning to end, great experience. So I do really recommend it.
Okay.
So then continuing my Dead Space journey, I played Dead Space Ignition, uh,
Oh, okay.
which was the interactive novel Dead Space game prequel to Dead Space 2.
All right. I'm
Uh,
listening.
did you ever play this one before?
I have not played the offshoot because I think these are both on Wii, if I'm
No,
not mistaken.
Ignition is PlayStation.
Okay. Well, I've only played Dead Space 1, 2, and 3,
Okay,
and seen the movie.
okay. Both movies?
Both movies?
Yeah, there's two.
Hold up.
Downfall and Aftermath.
I own Downfall. I have not seen. Wait. Uh, what was Aftermath?
I will talk about it.
I have not
We
seen
will get.
Aftermath.
Yeah, well, I watched that this week too, so we'll get there. Don't
You
worry.
just watched. You just did everything Dead Space this week, apparently.
Almost. I mean, there's still a little bit more, but
Okay.
uh, so anyway, so where was it? So Ignition was a PlayStation 2, well, and I guess Xbox because that's what I played it on, or PlayStation 3 and Xbox. DLC title that's like an interactive novel with some very dumb mini games to like help progress the story. So it has like a I don't even know how to describe them. Just some like puzzle mini games, like a line racing mini game, like a puzzle, like a kind of like pegboard puzzle kind of mini game, and just something dumb that's basically spam the button until you win mini game.
Hmm.
But anyway, so as you finish the mini games, you progress through this like interactive novel, and it basically it tells a story about the character that helps free Isaac in Dead Space 2. It has some
Okay.
branching path mechanics. It's an interesting story. If you don't play it, you're not really missing anything, but
Okay.
it does give you a little bit more like rhyme and reason as to like how Isaac was able to escape the hospital at the beginning of Dead Space 2. That was a
Hmm.
bit more like it was not like a random event like you might think it was if you had just played Dead Space 2. Like there was a lot more planning and a thought that went into everything there.
Hmm.
The and then Dead Space Aftermath I watched as well. That's the Dead Space 2 prequel movie anime that they did. That
Hmm.
one talks specifically about the aftermath of Aegis 7
Okay.
after the marker is destroyed and some of the events that lead up to Dead Space 2, particularly one of the other patients that's in Dead Space 2 that Isaac interacts with a lot. I think his
Okay
last
then.
name is Strauss. So that gives a bunch of his backstory and kind of like why he's important and why Isaac has a connection with him in the second game. So I think it's a good movie. I mean both those movies are good. I mean they're not like amazing. They're great like tie-in movies, I think, and
Hmm.
especially if you're into the Dead Space lore, which honestly I think Dead Space has some of the best lore of like a lot of different franchises. It's a very interesting, well thought out universe.
Okay.
So I think the the side material that they've created for this universe I think is very good. Um, so that's good. And then I started Dead Space 2. I'm like 3 chapters into it now.
All right.
So I love Dead Space 2. I think I don't know if Dead Space 2 is my favorite or not. It's definitely it's a tough call between 1 and 2. Because 1 is excellent. Like I love the Ishimura. I love like the whole setting that they did there. And just especially with the graphical upgrade and the gameplay like tweaks that they made with the second or the first one.
Hmm.
Like it's a very solid outing. But the second one, like you got the sprawl, you're kind of in the more of that futuristic city. They expanded on the enemy lines. Those are great. Like I said, the graphics from like the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era don't necessarily hold up to, say, the Xbox Series S, but I do think that they're still very solid. I think they look great, and I do think that the gameplay holds up very well.
Okay.
Dead Space 2 is definitely more like action focused, but still
Okay.
retains a lot of its horror elements. So I think that goes really well for it. And its set pieces are phenomenal. I love the set pieces from Dead Space 2. So I think that's one thing that they did really well. But again, it's a lot about this universe building. Like, why is there another marker? Why are the people? Why
I
are
think Dead Space 2 is also the best in the series. That is
yeah?
my opinion. I actually do think that.
I think that they built on the first one in like every single way, really.
Hmm.
Um, I think that it's a very excellent sequel, and I think that again, like just everything they put in that game just keeps you on your toes, always keeps you guessing. The tweaks that they made to the gameplay from the original to this one are good. Although now you'll see more of those tweaks retroactively put into the Dead Space remake, which is nice.
Mm.
So you got those things going for it. The one thing I forgot, and I don't know how I forgot about this, even though I read about it online when I was reading about the remake for Dead Space original, was I forgot how much they utilized those power nodes and how you had to save them for like doors and shit. Because in the remake they got rid of that. You just use the nodes for power ups.
Oh shit.
But in like the Dead Space like originals, you use those power nodes to unlock doors that let you get access to. Well, it's kind of like a sealed bag, like a random bag. You don't know what you're getting. Like, are you
Hmm.
gonna get a room full of weapons, or are you gonna get a room full of shit? I don't know. Better think about how you want to spend those power nodes because they're very valuable. And yeah, so that mechanic's back in here too. So kind of totally forgot about it, but it is interesting having it back again. So and I love being on the Sprawl again, and just the new characters they have in there, like those creepy ass toddlers that come and run and try to kill you,
Yes,
and
those were the best.
yeah, and then I just will never forget that scene when you're in like the baby daycare.
Hmm.
That's like that's just like one of like the creepiest like things ever. I haven't gotten to it yet, so I'm very much anticipating it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I've just been going through and just Dead Space. I realized the last time I played Dead Space 2, it's been a
Yeah.
very long time. Like a very long time. I think we did a Dead Space playthrough back when we were doing, like the group playthrough things,
I think so
if I
too.
remember. But I don't think I ever went back through Dead Space 2 after that. And I don't think I went through Dead Space 3 after. I think I maybe played through it another time, like when it came out, like right
Hmm.
afterwards. But I don't think I played through it like any major length of time after that. So I'm kind of excited to go back and just keep going down this path. So I'm like full on Dead Space mode right now, and I love it. So, and I didn't even realize it too. I mean, we were talking about it with Metroid. Like Metroid, the remaster is 20 years after. I mean, Dead Space 1 came out in like 2000 and like 8 or something
I was
ridiculous.
gonna say 2007,
Yeah,
2008.
it's been so long. So, yeah, and I think Dead Space 3 came out in 2013. So it's been like a full 10 years since the
Jesus.
last game. So, yeah, I'm excited. I really hope that they do more with it. It was interesting. I saw there was a comment from the composer for Dead Space.
Hmm.
I think it was the composer on the remaster, but they were speaking about how it's like they felt like now that they did the Dead Space 1 remaster, they want to pick up with Dead Space 4. Like that's what he wants at least. Not like I
Hmm.
say they, not like as a company, but that's his hope that they pick up with Dead Space 4. And the more that I think about it, I kind of agree. I think that Dead Space 2 is a great game, and just slapping a fresh paint, a fresh coat of paint on it, well, it's an excellent game, and I think more people should play it. I much am more excited to see where they could go after Dead Space 3 and just kind of open those doors again. So,
They'll probably put out all three Dead Space games remastered, like the first
mhm.
game, and then they'll do work on Dead Space 4 or announce it or something. Or maybe they're already working on it, but they're just to keep the hype. They're currently remastering all the other Dead Space games.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't even know how much work it would take to remaster those games. If they're just doing a graphical coat.
Dead Space
Like,
3 would take a lot.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. Dead Space 2 probably wouldn't need too much. I think that game could do well with just a graphical upgrade, like just stick your art teams on it and be done with it. Dead Space 3 probably would need a bit more tweaking to make it more to people's satisfaction. Especially if they decide to keep the co-op element intact.
Yes.
So I don't know. That needs some thinking. And that's another reason why I kind of wonder if they would go through and do both. Like maybe 2 and then skip 3 and go to 4. Or
No,
skip
3 needs
3
it the most. 3 needs it the most, honestly.
or just I was gonna say, or just like not do 3 and make a new Dead Space 3.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. They could go anywhere. But don't fuck with Dead Space 2. That's what I'm gonna say. Just like I say with Resident Evil 4. Like that game is a masterpiece.
Yep.
Doesn't need to be fucked with.
I mean, what I've seen that they've done, like for not Dead Space, sorry, for Resident Evil 4 remake, has made it even better, and that is impressive.
Well, I guess now that I have a Series X, I have some incentive to try it.
Yeah.
So we will see.
It
is one of my favorite games.
Mm-hmm. So. I feel like, for instance, removing a bunch of the QTE things and making it actual gameplay is actually already a massive improvement and not a downgrade.
I agree. In theory, it depends on what they replace it with. So I'm going to put that as tentatively a win.
Okay.
That's where I am on that one. Like I said, if they stick in like some dumbass boss fight in there or just some stupid thing to replace it with.
So the boss fight is still against Kaiser, but you actually fight him with your knife instead of with a QTE event.
Oh no, I know that's what you said.
Yeah.
But if it ends up being just a really dumb fight.
So from like what I've been seeing, because like there's plenty of gameplay out now for it and everything. It looks like it's very legit. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're only like it comes out this month, doesn't it?
And it comes out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're very close to it.
I bought it like 2 days ago.
Okay. Well then. Yeah, so we will.
I've had the money sitting in my Steam wallet for like forever, and I was like, do I buy it? Do I don't? Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah, so we'll that very soon. Then, meanwhile, I'm just like so backlogged on games right now. I'm like bogged down because I'm just like, let's not finish the games I'm playing and just add 3 more series into the mix.
23rd. That's the day it comes out. 2 weeks, actually. Oh, well, 2 weeks and 2 days. So
it'll be like 2 weeks from when this episode comes out.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually probably exactly what it'll be.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the big things that I've been playing. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sure I'll be somewhere between Dead Space 2 and 3 next week. So,
nice.
But I'm already like, I gotta pull out my graphic novels. I want to read the backstory for Dead Space 3 because I have them around here. I know where they are.
I see.
Yeah. But I'm like fully invested in Dead Space at this point in time.
That's awesome.
So yeah. Anyways, you ready to talk about news?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. March is quickly heating up to be a very exciting month. Nintendo just announced a few new things this week. Metroid Fusion's coming to Switch, the expansion pass this week. So you got that. I mean, not like it's revolutionary, and it's fucking dumb that Nintendo continues to trickle out these titles that have been available forever. But we are getting it, so at least that's a small victory. Very small. But it is a great game, and if you've never played it before, it is excellent. I'm tempted to even play it again. So, because I'm also kind of, I don't know, Dead Space and Metroid kind of fall into this whole like same area of hype for me. They're very similar in a lot of ways, I think. You know, just kind of like that sense of isolation. And Metroid can definitely be, depending on the game, pseudo horror, I would say.
Yeah, somewhat.
Depends on the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like some more so than others. Definitely some more so than others.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when you're on those games, like I think Metroid Dread had some moments that I think like really nailed that pretty well. Especially when you're like the Emmys are hunting you and you're like, oh fuck, I gotta get out of here. And then Fusion as well, when the SAX is hunting you, you have moments like that, or there's some creepy moments in those games. But anyways, yeah, no, so Metroid Fusion is coming out this week. Excellent game. You should try it out if you have not yet.
Okay.
I just still think Zero Mission is infinitely better in every way, but you'll have to settle for Fusion for now. And then the other thing we know that's coming out this week, Mario Kart 8 DLC was officially revealed this week. We got our eight new tracks. The Fruit Cup is the Amsterdam Drift, Riverside Park, DK Summit, and Yoshi's Island. Which
Okay.
Yoshi's Island they showed off pretty extensively. And then on the Boomerang Cup, Boomerang Cup, Boomerang Cock.
Yo, you want to try that again?
Well, it's because the next stage is Bangkok Rush. So like I did like one of those things
Kind of combine them,
merge it together.
Yeah.
So the Boomerang Cock. That might be the
that's
title
the title.
Yeah.
Can you write that as the title?
I mean, probably. Or I could,
Okay.
yeah, I don't see why not. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Or I could spell it cock like Bangkok because it's K-O-K.
Yeah, there you go.
Boomerang.
There you go. That's what you do.
Yeah. Anyway, so you have Bangkok Rush. You got Mario Circuit from the DS, Waluigi Stadium from the GameCube, and then Singapore Speedway. So you got 3 tour tracks in this set of 2, which kind of I liked it better when it was 1 per 1, but
yeah,
these tracks. DK Summit's a pretty solid track. I like that. The new Yoshi's Island, I hope is good. It looks good, but I have been disappointed by most of the new tracks, so we'll see. And then you can't go wrong with the other ones, I guess. They just seem like very basic, nice upgrades. So yeah, so that's Wave 4 DLC. There was a rumor about new characters being found in some data in Mario Kart 8, but
isn't Birdo new?
Birdo is new. Birdo is coming out with this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Birdo's part of this DLC.
Yes, but there's rumors of more of them not coming out. Oh,
okay.
Week, but just future ones. But I guess the rumors seem very incredible, and basically it boils down to characters that are already in Mario Kart Tour, so not anything wild.
Okay.
If you've been following along with that, which it seems like that's kind of the direction that this DLC is going, anyways. Here's the stuff that we made for Tour, and we, upported it to the Switch. So there you are.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So, other Nintendo news we got: Detective Pikachu rumored to be coming.
Yeah, the sequel.
Yeah. So
Detective Pikachu.
I hope not. I hope not.
You're like, please no, don't do that.
No, don't. That's too bad. Too much. So after the original one, I guess the first movie did really well. I thought the first Detective Pikachu was actually like a very enjoyable movie. I thought they did a good job with it. They and apparently did well in sales too, but that was like, you remember, just pre-pandemic. So apparently, like after the pandemic hit, I guess they had kind of like allegedly scrapped the idea, but apparently they got back to the drawing board and they've hired like a director for it. So it seems like it's actually something that they are actually doing. Like they officially announced that they hired a director for it. So
that's pretty good.
Cool.
That's
no clue what it means it's going to be. Are they bringing back Ryan Reynolds? Or are they going to do some different sort of Detective Pikachu story? Don't know. Could be anything. But
could even be a boat.
Could even be a boat. Don't know. I hope they bring back Justice Smith because I thought he was good there too. But I could understand if they decided to go a different direction depending on what they want to do story wise. Because I feel like it's a tough movie to follow up sequel wise.
Definitely. Yeah.
It had a very kind of like nice conclusive ending. It didn't really have any obvious like, hey, let's pick up from here kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
But who knows? Wilder things have happened. And then the last piece of news I had on here, there's a new Xbox Series piece of machinery coming out.
Yeah, a toaster.
I think it's a great idea. Great way to follow up the fridge. Nick will have to get one.
I mean, I think it's obvious what they're doing, right?
Trying to take over your kitchen?
No. Okay, so people made fun of the Xbox Series X when it appeared, and they called it a fridge, right? Yeah. So they made a fridge. A bunch of bullshit articles got put out, and people were saying that the Xbox Series S is holding gaming back, and that its quality is not there, and that in the future it will be practically a toaster. So they're making it an actual toaster as a joke to be like, yeah, you guys are fucking stupid.
I think that's funny. Yeah, that's even better when you put it like that. And
They call like bad computers or bad consoles that are like outdated. They call them like toasters. So there you go. That's what they're doing. They're leaning into the meme.
Yeah, you know what? Good for them. Although, you know what? Honestly, I don't think it's the Xbox Series S that's holding it back. If anything,
No, not at all.
If anything is holding it back, it's the publishers who don't want to dedicate resources to next gen and continue to split things between PlayStation 4, which is the lower end of the spectrum, and the Xbox Series X, and trying to make a single game that's compatible for the both extremes of that spectrum.
You're 100% correct. When you're still making games for a console that doesn't have next gen console specific like abilities at all, and you're trying to throw the partial next gen console under the bus, you're just being disingenuous at that point. You're just full of shit, you know?
Yeah. It's not that one that's holding it back. It's because they want to keep developing for the PlayStation 4. Which part of me is just kind of like, I understand that. Like, there's not a PlayStation 4 games are
I still can't walk into a store and see a PS5. So like, yeah, I get it, you know?
And it's the same thing with my Series X. Like, you can get they seem to be more readily available if you do the all access like I did. But if you just wanted to buy it straight out, good luck. Like
I've seen Series X's in store. In fact, I've bought a Series X.
Oh, I mean, I know that they're there.
I mean, I've seen the Series S in store more often. That's where I bought that one. The Series X was from. I'm getting my own brain confused. I've seen Series S's in store, is what I was gonna say. My bad. I've also seen Series X's, but I have not bought a Series X in store. I've bought a Series S in store. So
yeah, Series S seems to be regularly available.
Yeah, I've seen an X in store a few times. So.
And like I said, at least when I was looking for,
I've never seen a PS5 in store. Never, ever.
I'm not seeing one either. I'm sure they exist, but yeah. No, I just want. Actually,
I mean, I know they exist. I literally own one. It's right next. It's not like, I don't think PS5s actually exist. Wait, it's right there.
Maybe they don't. Maybe you're not actually playing one.
PS4.372. I get it. I see what you're saying.
It's just a PlayStation 4 inside a bigger shell, and that's why they're having problems developing for next gen. That's the real secret.
They hacked it to have ray tracing. Oh my god, that reminds me. I do actually have to talk about something else.
Yeah, what is it?
News-wise. Are we done with the news? Can I go into what I...
Yeah, of course. I think that covered all our bases.
So there was a firmware update put out. I'm going to actually show you this because it's sick. Did I post it in our chat? I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. I'll just show you the picture because it's actually sick. So, essentially, on copy image. Come the fuck on, guy. Save image. What the fuck? Why can't I save this image? Oh, fuck it. I'm doing it this way. Copy image. And then I'm going to post it in our chat so you can see it because otherwise this conversation just won't make any sense. All right, in general now. There you go. All right, check out that image. It is from Doom Eternal. Do you notice something about this image?
I don't know what you're looking for me to see.
Okay, all right. This image has ray tracing enabled.
Okay.
You can kind of see it in the reflection in the blood, where you see the reds reflecting from the door in front of you.
Yeah.
Now, okay, that was enabled software-wise into the Steam Deck over the weekend. The Steam Deck can now do ray tracing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is
pretty cool.
I know. I couldn't remember if I mentioned it in our chat or not, but yeah, they have enabled ray tracing on the Steam Deck. It's for specific games right now, and the only one that currently has it enabled is Doom Eternal. But for a handheld to have ray tracing abilities, that is fucking insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was a pretty big piece of news that came out over the weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
$399 Steam Deck can do ray tracing. That's cool. That's cool as fuck. Granted, it is only for specific games right now and only as it gets enabled, but it can do ray tracing, and that is so cool.
I agree. And it's still a very affordable. It's probably the most affordable machine you can get that can do it.
Yep.
I would think. Yeah.
So the Series S can do it, but like for some reason they aren't. It's because they want to maintain like a higher resolution, like 1440p or higher than 1080p at least. and then also have like all the bells and whistles. But like quite literally, if they gave more options, you could easily do ray tracing on Series S as well. But it is what it is. But being able to do ray tracing on a handheld is pretty insane. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
yep. All right, that's it. That's all I've got.
Okay. Anything else to talk about before we wrap up then?
No, not unless you can think of anything.
Well, I think we got all our big things this week. So let's do it. Thank you
Okay.
everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you can get your podcasts. You also can check us out on game-crunch.com for all the latest episodes. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter. You can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon,
Hello.
any final thoughts?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. And with that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me online. I'm Clash or Penguin. Online or on your favorite console. And until next week, game on.
Game on. And then I guess the only other thing I did want to mention to you before we get started is I got free Apple Music.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea how good Apple Music was. Holy shit.
What was it? Was Xbox just doing it?
Xbox was just doing it. 3 months for free.
Yeah, I just saw the thing. I have been paying for it for a while. Because what was it? I don't remember why I ended up getting it. I think it was DJ wanted it for something, and so we did the trial, and then like I realized how useful it was while we were doing it, and I'm like, I'm not stopping this. And because I was still a student at that time, I got a student discount where I got that and the Apple TV, for the same price, and I was like, yeah, I'll keep doing this. That's great.
Okay. Well, interesting enough, and I'm a huge fan of just music in general, game music, any kind of music. I actually realize Apple Music is lossless quality.
Yeah, that's one thing that Apple's really good with. Like
their quality is literally like if you have the CD, and that is super fucking impressive.
And they also, the same thing with the TV too. People say that if you're looking for the quality of like the streaming content, they say Apple, like their TV.
Well, I've got Apple TV also, or Apple Plus, whatever the fuck the TV thing is, because they were both free on Xbox until the 31st. So I grabbed both of them.
Yeah.
So
you can start watching some shit then.
Yeah, I do. I got both, and I'm gonna end up watching some stuff. I mostly got it for the Tetris movie, to be completely honest.
Hey,
since that's this month.
Mystic
Wait, has it already out? Wait, is it already out?
No, not till the end of the month.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's good. You've already seen it. What the fuck?
Oh, I meant it like that looks good. At least the trailer.
Oh yeah.
But no, you got to do that. You got to do Mystic Quest.
Okay.
For sure. And you got to do. I would say at least the other big show there's Ted Lasso. Everyone loves that. But there's a bunch of stuff on
Mystic Quest is the one with Mac from Always Sunny, right?
I don't know what his character name is, but yeah.
He's from Always Sunny. That's all I'm asking. Yeah, okay.
No, it's the guy from Always Sunny. Like I said, I don't remember what his character name is, but
yeah, if just saying the person from Always Sunny, that's all I needed to know. It's definitely Mac, because I've seen the trailer for it and I couldn't remember if it was that or not.
Yeah,
that
show's good. Ted Lasso's excellent. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff too I could recommend, but I would say at least start with those things.
Okay.